Okay, so now I thought I would go over some of the things that I use for painting the Dressform. I found these at Hobby Lobby. It's Luminaire, I believe is how it's pronounced. And it colors, but yet it gives it metallic colors. And it goes on pretty soft on fabric, paper, and this is paper, so I use this a lot. And a while back they had this decorative napkin collage kit on HSN, and it's by US Art Quest, and they had these paints in there, and I really like them because they're translucent. They do have a website, and that's US Art Quest, and I know you can get these paints from them, and these are fantastic. It doesn't take much, and it's sort of almost opaque. So those are what I use. You can also use regular folk art or what those other brands out there. You can use those. You could just put like a shellac over it to give it an aged look. You know, anything that you want you can do with this. I've got sort of a color in mind that I want to do, and this one's going to be sort of on the line of pinks. I never know how it's going to end up, because as I go along, if I'm not liking something, it's going to change into something else. So let's sort of get started with this. I'm just going to show you a little bit of the painting. Start with this one. And you just make a little puddle in here, and I always make sure that I get the edges real well, because I want those really covered. So basically, as you go along, as you can tell, let's see if I can get this up here to you. You can see with this one that the wording is showing through, but it's got a nice glaze. So we'll just go along, and I'll probably add more stuff to it, but I do want to get all these edges. And I just mix this up as I need it. That way I don't have too much water in it at one time. One thing about this is when you do put it away, you want to make sure it's completely dry before you put it in its packaging, because the moisture will make the rest of them wet, and then if you have it sort of tilted, it starts to run into each other. I don't know if you could see this, how even this is metallic looking. I don't paint the inside. I like to leave that so that people can see, yes, it was made out of an old book or whatever you're using. You can also, before, I never mentioned this before, but if you decide before you take it off of the Dressform that you found a napkin that's really pretty and decorative and you want to use that, make sure you take it apart and only use the one layer, the decorative layer, and you can use that on top. Say, like, they had some napkins in here I haven't used up yet. Say like this. If you wanted to use this on top, your napkins are usually, and I've already peeled mine apart, there's usually 4 layers. So if you take like painter's tape and you dab it on both sides and pull it apart, you'll start to get the layers. You only want the decorative layer, and then you could put that on as your last layer and then go from there. I had done that with one before, but then I ended up not liking it. The color didn't suit what I was going for, so it got painted over. So it just added an extra layer, made it a little bit stronger. So like I said, this one I'm trying to go for a pink, and you're probably wondering, why am I using the white silver? Because I'm going to try to get it ombre, which is light going down to the dark. It may work, it may not. If it doesn't work, oh well, I'll do something else with it. It's only paint. You can mix these colors. They do mix. I haven't tried it with Tim Holtz inks yet. I'm not sure how well that would work. Maybe his paint line or his alcohol inks. If you could see, the wording is still showing through. So that's sort of neat. So these are the Lumiere paints that I'm hoping to get the ombre look. So basically, when you're doing this, just sort of get you a color scheme, pull out a bunch of stuff, and just have at it. Like I said, I've had things start out as one color and end up completely in another spectrum. One was sort of a yellow and brown striping, and it ended up being a brown and green with the copper down here. So there are no mistakes, only rearranging. Also in the back, I've already drilled my holes for my lacing. And what I did is I went 1/8 of an inch in on both sides, and every 1/8 inch I put a mark and then just drilled a little tiny hole. So when you go to decorate, I usually will paint and then leave it to dry completely before trying to put anything else on it. And I go through and I will put multiple layers on. But the first layer, which with this one I'm thinking of the tulle, and I just gathered up a bunch, I will hot glue it to the inside. And then I've got an idea that I might use, I took these big daisy flowers apart, and then I'll put these around the outside, all the way around, and do that for maybe a couple of layers. And then to finish the outside off is when you use a decorative lace or ribbon. And then also here I'll put ribbon or beads or something for the straps. But everything else is just basically glued on. And not much more to really explain to you, because you've got your corset and the sky's the limit. But I don't know if you can see what I'm trying to go for is ombre, dark to light. So I'll keep working on this and get it completely done, and then I'll come back and I will show you what I came up with, and I hope to see your designs. Everybody else is working on theirs. So